Ladies and gentlemen, racing fanatics and adrenaline junkies, welcome to the exhilarating South Boston Speedway. Situated in the heart of Virginia, this hallowed racing ground is about to witness an extraordinary showdown as these lightning-fast SK Modifieds take to the track in a battle of speed, skill, and unrelenting determination. South Boston Speedway, with its rich racing heritage spanning over 6 decades, stands as a testament to the undying passion of motorsports in this region. Tonight, under the shimmering lights that illuminate this legendary oval, we gather to witness an extraordinary display of racing prowess. As the engines rumble and the scent of burning rubber fills the air, let me paint a picture of what awaits for you. The SK Modifieds, the kings of precision and power, are finely tuned racing machines that have been meticulously crafted to devour every inch of this challenging quarter-mile asphalt track. These fearless warriors, clad in their vibrant racing colors, are about to unleash an explosive symphony of speed and strategy that will leave you breathless. Picture this. The green flag waves, and the thunderous roar of engines pierce the silence. The SK Modifieds hurtle down the front stretch, jockeying for position, their wheels inches apart as they slice through the air with uncanny precision. Every turn, every straightaway becomes a battlefield of skill and strategy where the slightest miscalculation can mean the difference between glory and defeat. As the laps tick by, be prepared for heart-stopping maneuvers, heart-pounding battles for supremacy. These drivers, masters of their craft, push the limits of their machines, defying gravity as they navigate the tight corners, their tires screeching in protest. They ride the razor's edge, threading the needle between bravery and recklessness, all in pursuit of victory. So, ladies and gentlemen, buckle up and hold on tight as we embark on a thrilling journey through the twisted turns and blistering straights of South Boston Speedway. Tonight, we witness a clash of titans where the SK Modifieds will push the limits of speed and skill, leaving nothing but dust and awe in their wake. You're ready to witness a symphony of horsepower as South Boston Speedway welcomes you to an unforgettable night of heart-pounding action. I am Ryan Seneker, and up with me in the booth tonight is Brandon Litz. Brandon, what do you think the drivers have in store for them tonight?
Well, good evening here, Ryan, and it's a pleasure to be here. It looks like the track temperature from yesterday, which was running about 120 degrees, is now down to about 87 degrees. That's going to lead to a lot more grip and should lead to a lot more acceleration going into the turns and a lot more confidence in these drivers. One of the biggest things that we need to pay attention to tonight is definitely that points lead that Jeffrey Harden has. That's a very close battle there, and honestly, it could be whoever's going to turn out front tonight is going to be the winner. So definitely going to be watching that. Along, we also have J.R. Shepard, who's absolutely got a blistering pace out there early on in practice. So we're going to be seeing quite a bit here.
Yeah, exactly right. And taking a quick look at those points you mentioned, Donnie Moore holds the lead by 1 point over Jeffrey Harden. That means whoever finishes out ahead of the other driver is the points leader going into the final round next season or next week at Five Flags Speedway. If Jeffrey Harden does manage to take this championship, he could get the BRL Saturday Night Triple Crown, taking the Street Stocks, the SK Modifieds, and the Late Model Stocks championships all in one season. So let's see what Harden can pull off tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Working with him in the booth, he's one of those people that's hyper-focused, and he would definitely want to accomplish that. So I expect to see quite a bit out of him tonight. This is going to be a really good race. I mean, there's a lot of talent out there, and a lot of people aren't going to understand exactly how close to the edge these guys are pushing it, but we're going to try our best to paint you guys a picture.
All right, with that, we do drop the curtain on practice as the drivers start to grid up for the feature. That'll be 50 laps in these SK Modifieds. Taking you through the grid, we have Kevin Nunn starting on the pole with Razor Racing. To his outside, Matt Hoos. Row number 2, Tom Hilbert and Bruce Pearson. Row 3, Joe Segala and Matt Chinoski. Row 4, Lewis Flowers, newcomer to the series, and Kurt Smith. In row 5, that'll be Jeffrey Harden and Donnie Moore to his outside. Oh man, the racing gods are just waiting for this to happen. And behind him in row 6 will be J.R. Shepard. He actually has been absent all season, decided to show up at the end to show off some skill. And Todd Liston to his outside. Then you have Chris Davis and Chris Hazlett rounding out this 14-car field.
Yeah, having those start next to each other is probably not the most opportune thing that they were hoping for, but it's definitely going to lead to some great racing and a lot of drama for us.
Yeah, you gotta love it. I mean, what are the odds? The two people fighting over the points lead would start next to each other. So that should definitely be interesting to watch as the two of them carve through the field. All right, here you see the drivers coming around to take their first of 2 pace laps. Kevin Nunn in control of the field. Matt Hoos to the outside. Matt Hoos, a little inside knowledge I might have had. Matt Hoos is going for the win tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, and with where he stands in the points, he knows that it's a little bit out of reach, but he's one of those that loves these cars, and that's one of the things we always tell people, so definitely expect him to go for the win.
Yeah, as they come into turn 3, pace car will duck off in just a second. It would not surprise me to see Hoos try to make that outside work right off the jump. Pace car ducks off into pit lane. It is on Kevin Nunn to take the start, and a late start from Kevin Nunn. Hoos with, I don't know if Hoos jumped the start or Kevin Nunn missed it, but Hoos is well out of Fred Nunn, who's continuing to fall. I'm willing to say hardware malfunction. Nunn is still not going.
At least he was able to safely get the car off from the racing surface and allow these guys a good clean start.
Yeah, unfortunate start to the night for Nunn, who drops all the way back. And Matt Hoos did receive a penalty for that. Looks like he's taken his pass through.
Oh, not the start either of those men wanted.
Yeah, this is not the start we wanted for tonight, but that gives the lead over to Matt Chinoski. And it does appear that Chris Davis is running into trouble now, as we see him sideways on the front stretch. Caution flag does wave. Let's see if we can find out what happened to Davis. Yeah, a very chaotic start to the night. All right, here we see Davis. He's running behind J.R. Shepard. Above him, you see the 62. Contact with the 7. Got the 7 all out of shape. Contact with Hazlip. Oh, that is not what Chris Davis needed tonight.
That's all it takes. Just a small little touch of those wheels, and these cars just they go out of control.
That was newcomer Lewis Flowers up high, Chris Davis down low, and just slight contact with these open wheel machines, and it is almost unrecoverable. Oh, very chaotic and unfortunate start for 3 drivers now. Matt Hoos is back out on track. He is still on the lead lap, so he can still make something happen. We have over 40 laps to go. Chris Davis on pit road, Chris Hazlip on pit road. Both received some pretty severe damage from that incident. J.R. Shepard already up 3 spots into 8th, but the big mover already, Donnie Moore. He's not playing around tonight. He is up 7 spots into 3rd place.
Yeah, Donnie has definitely capitalized on every opportunity he could there, and he's got some distance between him and Harden, but I would think Harden's gonna try to do the same and charge up through the pack. Don't know if the conditions out there were making it harder for him to move where he was on that line, but that was not the start I was expecting, and it just shows you that even with the cooler track temperatures that these cars can be a handful.
Huh. Maybe you were right earlier, Brandon. We said the track temps would give them confidence with extra grip. Maybe they were a little too confident going into that first corner.
Yeah, it definitely seems like they were expecting these vehicles to perform in a way that they weren't going to. This restart's going to be excellent, though.
All right, coming down the backstretch, the cars are doubled up. Lights are off on the pace car going into turn 3. Matt Chinoski in control of the field with Kurt Smith to his outside. Kurt Smith was really fast earlier tonight in the street stock, so I'm interested to see what he can do here. Shanowski, early start for Matt. He gets off to a great lead, clears out in front, and that puts Donnie Moore to the inside of Kurt Smith, going for second place. Kurt is having none of it as he shuts the door, but nope, door swings wide open again, and Donnie gets right back up in there. I think Kurt wasn't quite sure if he was clear or not and didn't want to be careless and come down and wreck both races.
He's in a tough spot up there, that's for certain.
Yeah, no driver, you can make the outside line work all day long, but no driver wants to be stuck on the outside on any of these tracks. That is not where you want to be as a short track driver. Donnie does concede the battle. Kurt Smith was getting all the momentum up top, and Donnie could not make it happen, slotting back into third ahead of Todd Liston. Jeffrey Harden up 4 spots into 5th place ahead of J.R. Shepard, who is keeping the pressure up as he moves forward.
Donnie Moore in third, just kind of trying to keep that advantage that he has, trying to keep those cars in between them.
Well, I'm sure at this point, Donnie is looking at his relative. He sees Harden coming, and he knows he needs as many points as possible ahead of Harden tonight if he wants to keep that points lead. Shanowski out front doing a great job keeping his car wide, not giving Kurt Smith any opportunity to go high or low. You see Kurt Smith staying with him, just waiting patiently for the slightest mistake to take advantage of it. But at the same time, he can't be too brave out there, because if he goes high and it doesn't work, he just gave himself an opening for Donnie Moore.
Yep, absolutely. And probably Donnie Moore and a few others as well. Because everybody tightens up as soon as you see that car go high. And nobody wants to be the one that loses out on the opportunity to ride that low line.
I'm starting to wonder if defensive driving is actually slowing Kurt down, as Shanowski is starting to pull away from the field. He has over a 5/10 second lead on Smith right now, and it's growing.
He definitely looks very comfortable. The car is very stable. And like you said, he's just walking away. I wonder if that's going to come back to haunt him later on with tire wear, but it looks really smooth.
Well, Matt Shanowski in that beautiful petty blue number 31. I know him primarily as a road racer, so tire wear is not a mystery to him. He is a master of saving his tires for the end. You see J.R. Shepard's trying to make a move on Harden, going around the outside. That worked well earlier tonight in the street stocks. I don't know how well that's going to work in the SKs. The SKs are mainly a momentum car, so you can make the outside work, but you have the same momentum on the inside as well, as Harden defends that position.
You're really shocked that he hasn't made more progress up through the field. We know that speed's not an issue with him. It is an interesting decision to try to run that high line there, but perhaps he feels as if he's not going to get the opportunity to go forward unless he makes it himself.
Well, passing at South Boston is a premium. It is hard to get around this track in traffic, so maybe JR is just taking whatever he can find, and the outside presented itself as a better option. Oh, and we have lap traffic, as you see Chris Hazlip up there staying well high out of the way. Well, these people went 3 wide for a half a second, which is never wise at South Boston. This track is only 45 feet wide. And when you have Shepard clears up in the position, but when you have 45 feet of track side to side, that is not a lot of room for 3 cars, let alone 2.
No, absolutely. 45 feet is not a lot.
Further back, you see Matt Hoos is making progress, working his way back up. He's caught the bumper of Joe Segala as they battle for 7th place, and they both caught up to J.R. Shepard and Jeffrey Harden while they were battling.
Yeah, when you're pushing that air and you're side by side, both of you, it slows down both of those vehicles and might give you the illusion that both of you are going fast, but compared to everybody else in the line, you're pushing a lot of air.
You see, I don't know if Donnie Moore is holding back, but he is definitely falling off of the bumper of Kurt Smith as we go into the second half. I don't know if he's holding back, waiting for the end, or he just doesn't have the pace here at South Boston. This is one of those tracks where some drivers love it and some drivers hate it, and very few fall in between those two.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a challenging track, and you might think that you have it and that you have a really good idea of how you're wanting to drive your car into those turns, but the track evolves so rapidly. and those conditions can really change up how that vehicle responds.
Yeah, these are very tight corners, highly banked, 12-degree banking on the corners, 10-degree banking on the straightaway, so you're leaning to your left regardless of where you are on the track. And that can get your car out of shape if you're not paying attention, especially on corner entry here. That is when you'll see most people get loose. See, Matt Hoos did clear up into 7th place and is now closing in on Jeffrey Harden. Harden just seems to be running his own race, doesn't seem to be pushing, which is surprising. With the points as tight as they are, I thought Harden would go all out in this series.
He'd be waiting for the last few laps here, expecting some of these cars to maybe loosen up a bit and go off their line. That would give him a great advantage into being able to make up some of that time and position.
Shepard looking to the inside of Liston, looking to move up into 4th place as he definitely clears ahead. That looked fairly unchallenged. I think Liston let him go. And Harden closes up on the bumper as they went side by side. Like you said earlier, lost their momentum, allowed Harden to get right up on Liston as Shepard made that move. Donnie Moore has closed back up on Kurt Smith. Maybe he was just patiently waiting, letting the laps count down, because he is putting the pressure to Smith right now as we go to 15 laps to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And as these laps count down, it just gets harder and harder to maintain control of your vehicle while trying to get the maximum amount of pace out of it. The further and further you go, the better it is to have saved those tires in the early stint where everybody seems to have grip and they want to go. If you can kind of nurture those, it pays huge dividends towards the end.
Now the gap between Smith and Shinosky shrunk slightly, but I still believe Shinosky's just managing that gap because he's still holding about a half a second lead over Smith. And it closes, and it expands, and it closes again, so I think Shinosky's is trying to manage saving his tires in case J.R. Shepard finds his way into his mirror. And you can definitely tell J.R. Shepard being in 4th is pressuring more as Moore pushes Smith harder and harder, waiting for an opening.
Looks like Jeffrey Harden just got past Liston. No, they're fighting it out.
Yeah, Harden got to the inside of Liston, wasn't able to maintain. Now Hoos is going to start working on Harden. Looks like Liston is running a more defensive line, kind of mirror driving as he sees Harden pushing. And J.R. Shepard quickly dove underneath and made the move on Donnie Moore. I think J.R. Shepard decided, going 10 laps remaining, it is time to go.
And that car is going.
Yeah, that is not what Kurt Smith wanted to see. Holding off a driver for 10 laps is very doable, but when you see the 98 in your mirror, 10 laps seems like an eternity.
And it's glued to the track and coming.
Harden again was trying to work on Liston, but not able to finish the move. Yeah, Matt Hoos sitting behind him, sitting in 7th, just unable to do anything while these two battle back and forth. He's just stranded back there.
And all Harden can think of is that he's got to get in front of Donnie Moore, and Donnie is just, if I was Donnie, I'm happy where I'm at as long as we have that gap. And it's going to be interesting to see what Jeff can do in this situation. Desperation is going to be setting in.
All right, the gap to Shinosky shrunk by over 1.5 tenths as they battle, which means Shinosky is falling off his pace. If you can battle with J.R. Shepard and still gain on the leader is losing pace. Jeffrey Harden making another attempt. This time I think he has a better grab on it as he gets a nose ahead of Liston, moving up into 5th place. Matt Hoos quickly tucking in to make sure Todd can't drop down.
Absolutely.
That puts Jeffrey Harden directly behind. That puts Jeffrey Harden directly behind Moore. That will keep the points within 2 points of each other. Donnie Moore will still hold the lead, but going into the final round next week, Harden will only be trailing by 2 points. That is not what Donnie wants. J.R. Shepard continues to work over Smith, but unable to get an opening. Smith making his car 3 wide, all by himself. And at the same time, they have lost or gained another 10th on the leader. Shinosky is falling right into reach of Kurt Smith. But they are also running out of time. There goes Shepard taking second away. Donnie Moore trying to tuck in. Shinowski come around and take the white flag. I don't think there's enough time for Moore to make anything out of this, and I don't think there's enough time for Shepard to make anything more out of this.
Yeah, this is winding down.
There is Shinowski coming out of turn 4 to take the checker flag. J.R. Shepard comes in second. Kurt Smith third. Great run for Kurt tonight. Donnie Moore and Jeffrey Harden running fourth and fifth, still right next to each other as they round out the top 5 tonight, and still 1 and 2 in the points.
Well, on him, didn't he? That's got to be considered a success for that team, that's for certain.
All right, and with that, we are going to take a quick break. We're going to let iRacing timing and scoring get caught up, and we'll be right back. Don't go far.
Streaming cyberspace into your place. Sponsored by Gargamel's Kitchen. From Five Flags Speedway, it's the Virtual Grip Network's final round coverage of the Bootleg Racing League's late model series. From Pensacola on this Saturday night, John Hine, along with yours truly, Bill Stoops, on high up in the broadcast booth to bring you our words eye view. We play Ryan Seneca, turning the knobs and pushing the sliders. Check a look, makes you want to holler, hi to hold.
And we're back. Here are your official race results. Taking the win tonight is Matt Shinowski of Blue Thunder Simsport. Coming in second, J.R. Shepard, amazingly getting up 9 spots from where he started, but not enough time left to take that win. Kurt Smith, great run for Kurt. He held on to third, stayed up front the entire time. Strong showing for Kurt to round out the season. Donnie Moore, current points leader, still points leader, came home in fourth, ahead of his biggest competition, Jeffrey Harden in fifth, now trailing by 2 points in the point standings. Todd Liston came home in sixth. Matt Hoos, good recovery by Matt to come home in seventh after an early incident. Joe Segala, a nice quiet night for him. No real trouble from him, coming home in eighth. Bruce Pearson came home in ninth. And Kevin Nunn came home in 10th after early incident where I'm still saying mechanical failure. I don't know what happened in the beginning. Lewis Flowers, rookie of the season, came home 11th. Quiet night for him, uneventful. Tom Hilbert, Chris Hazlip, and Chris Davis. Unfortunate night for Chris Davis, rounding out your 14-car field. And with that, we have your race winner, Matt Shinowski. Matt, that was an amazing showing. You got the lead early. You held on to it the whole time. Was there any point tonight where you thought that lead was in jeopardy?
I thought as long as it went green, I was in pretty good shape. If I had restarts, and that would probably give someone like JR a chance. But I felt like as long as I can hold that yellow line and it stayed green, I'd be all right.
Yeah, you took the lead really early. I believe from a penalty on Hoos's part that just handed it to you under the caution. And initially, you pulled away to almost a full second lead. Were you just trying to get as much distance as possible? Or were you just having an incredible pace tonight?
As soon as I took the lead, I wasn't even looking in the rearview mirror. I was just concentrating on the yellow line and trying to just drive as fast as I could.
Well, it worked for you. You held the lead the entire way. Now, next week, we're going to Five Flags. Season finale. Are you planning on running next week?
I am planning on running. That's one of my favorite tracks, Five Flags. I like the big tracks, the big fast tracks.
All right, what's your strategy? I know you're not in the points battle, But are you going for the big win, or are you just going to do some laps and have some fun?
Well, the goal is always just to have fun. Being that I'll probably be starting near the back, I'll just see how it goes.
All right, sounds good, Matt. Congratulations on your win tonight. Who do you have to thank?
I just want to thank Lowell and everyone in the Bootleg Racing League, all the racers, you as well as VGN for broadcasting everything, doing such a great job in all the series. And that's about it.
All right, great job. That was Matt Chinoski, tonight's big winner. And with that, we're going to bring this show to a close. First, let's take a quick moment. Thank who makes it all possible. That is the Bootleg Racing League. The Bootleg Racing League is a sim racing league that offers a competitive online racing events for sim racers around the world. The league is focused on short track oval racing, as you saw here tonight, and offers a variety of racing series and championships throughout the year. This includes the SK Modifieds, the Tour Modifieds, the Street Stocks, Super Late Models, and the Late Model Stocks. The league focuses on clean racing and sportsmanship, which helps to create a fun and fair environment for all participants. And its use of the iRacing simulator platform ensures that the racing is as realistic as possible. To learn more about the Bootleg Racing League and even join in on some of the races, head over to bootlegracingleague.com. Now, if you liked what you saw here tonight, you can catch us again next week. That'll be on June 17th, 8 p.m. Eastern for the final round of Season 32 in the SK Modified Series from Five Flag Speedway, as you heard us talk earlier. Also, coming back next Friday, you can catch the series finale of the BRL Tour Modified Series, also from Five Flags. That goes live at 7:10 p.m. Eastern with our own Brandon Litz back in the booth with Jeffrey Harden alongside him. So you don't want to miss that one. Everything you've seen and heard tonight has been made possible by the Skidder Creek Motorsports Group, home to the Bootleg Racing League, the GT Racing League, Thunder Ridge Racing, the Virtual Grip Network, and more. For more information, visit them at skiddercreek.com. This has been a production of BRL TV. We are a broadcasting service aimed at giving up-and-coming commentators and directors a place to get their feet wet in the world of sim racing broadcasting. If you've ever wondered if you have what it takes to commentate live races, this is your chance. Get some experience with no pressure. Just show up and talk. If you're interested in getting in on the fun, visit bootlegracingleague.com to find out how. Now, from all of us up here in the BRL crew, myself, Brandon, thank you for watching, and have a great night.